So if you clicked on this video, you are obviously super interested in figuring out how to name your business. So if you're just starting your business out and you're trying to figure out how or what to name your business, here are some things that you definitely want to keep in mind. My name is Chelsea. If you are new to my YouTube channel, I am a registered nurse in Atlanta, Georgia, and I own my own medical spa called Aura Medical Spa. For those of you who are not new to my channel and have been watching me on YouTube, you probably know my old business name to be Lux. So for those of you who don't realize it, I actually did change my business name. So there are a couple reasons why I decided to change it. One of them being that a lot of people felt a little bit confused on what type of services I offered. I didn't want people to feel misled or not able to understand what services I offered at my business. So I decided to change it because I felt like I wanted to convey something that more so was based off of the vibe or the energy or the presence that I wanted people to feel when they walk into my sweet location. So I decided to settle on Aura. So Aura is actually derived from the meaning of a energy, a presence, a calming environment, and more of a healing approach. That is what I'm constantly promoting within my business, and more of an approach on holistic forms of medicine. So I love the name Aura. I feel like it's definitely much more popular as far as Google searches go. And yeah, so I'm just here to kind of dive into that, kind of tell you guys more about the rebranding process and the process of naming your own business and making sure that you take your time on picking the name that you desire. So let's jump right into this video. So first off, as I mentioned before, you definitely want to make sure that you take your time with naming your business. You also want to make sure that you look for that business name within your state. Once you have found that out, you also want to look for a domain name. Now typically you want your domain name to be a little bit on the shorter side. That way it's short, concise, and easy to understand and easy to remember. That is one thing that I didn't really think about completely when it came to changing my business name, was because I chose Aura Medical Spa and I already had that name in my head for the past couple months. Like, I've been wanting to change my business name for a few months now, and I was hesitant because I was like, well, what if people don't like it? What if people have already attached to the old name? How much cost was going to go into having to change the name? So I definitely recommend that if you do decide to change your business name or you're thinking about changing it, go for it, but especially you want to go for it early on rather than waiting a year or 2 years in to where you build so much into the name and also your clientele are also attached to the name. So I highly recommend if you do want to change it sooner rather than later. With that being said, I did choose Aura Medical Spa, but it is a lot more popular on Google searches, which is great, but also the domain name that I had to choose is very popular. So because Aura Med Spa or Aura Medical Spa is a popular name, that means that the domain name is going to be very competitive. So Aura Med Spa is a very short and concise domain name for your website, right? That cost was $2,000 to purchase that domain name because it's such a popular name and it's a popular business name, so that means it's going to be more expensive. The domain is going to be more expensive. So with that being said, although I do recommend that you have a short and concise domain name for your website, unfortunately, but also fortunately, I had to go for a name that is a little bit on the longer side. My domain name is actually www.aurawellnessandaesthetics.com. So I do like that I do have a little bit of a longer domain name for one reason. The reason is because it includes wellness and aesthetics, which are two services that we'll be offering at my medical spa. So I do recommend that if you do choose a domain name, you definitely want something short, but it's also not a huge downfall if you have somewhat of a longer domain name, as long as it includes the services that you plan to offer for your business. Yeah, that was a lot of explaining, but hopefully you kind of understand that. So next up, let's talk about choosing your business name. So there are a couple tools out there like name generators that you can find. There is actually a website called Looka, Looka, which I can actually show you guys what that looks like, and it gives you the ability to put in keywords in order to figure out what you want your name to be. It actually populates names that are available, but you also want to make sure that you check those names within your state, because I'm not sure if those names are specifically available within the US or if it's only available within the state. So just make sure that you check within your state business search to make sure that name is available. Also, Looka, the website, the name generator business website, it gives you domain names that are also connected to that name. if that makes sense. I'm going to show you guys an example too. I'm going to show you guys the website so that you can kind of understand where I'm going with this. I wanted to show you guys the business name generator. I type in business name generator with Luca on Google, and then you click this one. So it's an AI powered business generator. So if you want to type in wellness, and let's type in vitamins too, because that'd be another great keyword, vitamin. And then just type generate. So it shows you wellnessable, let's see, nutrient wear, benefitter. So these are just some names that are kind of ideas for what you want to name your med spa, but it also tells you that there are domains available. You just have to click it and kind of see if it is available within your state. So even though these names may be available, you want to make sure that you still look them up on your business search and make sure that it is available within your state. So that is also an option if you have no idea what to name your business. Just kind of figure out what services you plan to offer for your business and then start from there. And you can also do a name generator to kind of help with that process. When you do decide to name your business, you want to make sure that you do not box yourself in. When I say that, I mean you want to be more general with what services you plan to offer instead of super specific, just in case you decide to offer more services in the long run. So for example, I name my business Aura Medical Spa, but my domain name is Aura Wellness and Aesthetics. So I also offer aesthetics like Botox and fillers, but in addition I also offer IV therapy. So I do like that my domain name encompasses both. But my business name is Medical Spa, which means that I offer medical services within a spa entity, if that makes sense. I like how broad medical spa is versus if I decided to name my business Aura IV Hydration. You kind of box yourself in a little bit because if you decide to offer more services down the road, then you now have to add a new name onto your LLC name. Does that make sense? So if I decided to name my business Aura IV Hydration and then later on I want to offer weight loss program or Botox and fillers, IV hydration is not encompassed in Botox and fillers. So it can kind of be a little bit misleading. It can also be kind of a headache to add a new name onto your existing name. And lastly, a lot of people are probably not going to ask you about those services because they don't even know that you offer them based on your business name. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So when choosing a business name, make sure that it is broad enough for you to cover all of your bases. So you can make it Aura Medical Spa and Aesthetics. You can make it Aura Wellness and Aesthetics. Or you can just make it Aura Medical Spa and then have a domain name that encompasses the services you plan to offer like I did. Alright, so a question that I definitely get is, what do I do if I want to rebrand my business? So like I mentioned before earlier in this video, you definitely want to rebrand and decide to change your business name early on than to wait longer. Reason being is because if you wait longer, it might be a little bit more financially of a hardship to change everything. You have to think about your logo. You have to change your LLC. In some states, you do have to apply for a PLLC, but you'll have to make sure, just consult with your lawyer or your business lawyer to make sure that before you do apply for your business name, that you are applying for the correct one, either LLC or a PLLC. There's not a huge difference between them, but if you're doing a medical spa, you want to make sure that you speak with a business lawyer on which one to apply for. And you can change it later on too. So if you apply for an LLC and you find out that you need a PLLC, you can always switch it. So don't freak out. So when you decide to rebrand your business name, you're going to go on your state website and apply for a business amendment. Again, make sure that the business name that you're planning to change it to, that the domain is available, it's available on social media sites, and make sure all of that before you actually decide to pay the money to change your business name. Once you pay the money, it's about $20. That's what it was for me. It takes about 5 to 7 business days for them to actually complete it and grant you your new business name. Once that is done, then you can go ahead and start changing other things. If you do want to rebrand your business, it can cost more money if you decide to do it later on. So with that being said, rebranding for me, I changed my business name, which only cost me about $20. Then I applied for a new logo. So I did my logo on Fiverr. If you've never heard of it, I will link down below who also actually did my logo for me. I did my own on Canva, but then I just had the Fiverr graphic designer kind of perfected a little bit more for me. And that was like $40, to be honest. It's not very expensive. And then you have to consider changing your website. So for me, with my old website and my old domain name, which I'll actually be deleting very soon because I revamped my website completely. I have a whole team that revamped my website for me. And you guys will actually see a sneak peek of my new website. It's going to be actually launching in a couple days. It'll be going live soon. So I'll show you guys a little sneak peek of it at the end of this video. So definitely keep watching. So when you do decide to rebrand your business and you have to change your whole website, that can be a lot of cost. So for me, my first website for my old med spa name was a website that I did myself. So I did it on GoDaddy, and it was very short and concise, very like basic of a website. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. That's why I wanted to get it revamped. But also because I changed my business name, I wanted my website to kind of convey the spa aesthetic and the aura that I'm trying to represent with my business name. So that's why I decided to revamp my website. But for me, it didn't cost a whole lot because me revamping my website was the first time I've actually paid somebody to do it. I did it in time to where I didn't have to do a whole lot of footwork as far as changing the name over to now Aura Medical Spa. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm saying that to say that when you do decide to change your business name and you've already paid for somebody to do your old website, now you're going to probably have to pay somebody again to revamp your website, which can be a lot more cost, which is exactly why I say that if you're changing your business name later on, you have to realize that you might be spending a little bit more money than you originally planned to. For me, it wasn't super expensive to change my business name and kind of revamp some things. But for someone else who maybe is 2 years down the road, they may have a little bit more of a struggle financially to make all those changes. So just keep that in mind. I hope that wasn't like a run-on sentence, but just keep that in mind when you do decide to revamp or change your business name later on down the line. When you do decide to rebrand your business name, make sure that your name is available on social media. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. There's this new thing on Instagram called Threads, which I haven't even got onto yet. But just make sure that your business name is available on all those platforms. So now let's go ahead and jump right into a sneak peek on the website revamp for Aura Medical Spa. Alright y'all, so here is my new website. It is still, as you can see, it still has the old domain on there, so that will change very soon. Once they make the website live, it'll be switched to the new domain name. But this is what it looks like. It says, welcome to Aura Medical Spa. Alright, so this is if you scroll down from here, this is what it looks like. Okay, that's better. Okay, now y'all can see it well. Alright. So this is like the opening part here. You've got About Us, Services, Membership, Policies, Gift Cards, Gallery, Contact Us, and Book Now. You scroll down here. You see the name. This is just some information about like our mission statement. You can click Learn More there. Here's our services that we offer. Have a question, you have the ability to like put your first and last name in, your email address, and your phone number, and kind of tell me like how you heard about me, and just kind of ask any questions or inquiries about like services that you plan to get from me, or things like that. There's a contact button right here, also a Book Now button. It'll bring up my booking site platform. So this is on Vagaro, which I meant to delete this picture because it still has my old business name, but I'll delete those probably soon. But it shows a map of my location. Even though this is not my location, this is actually the location of my business address, my suite box, like my mailing address. But soon enough, I will be getting a suite location. But this is not the physical location of the spa yet. There's reviews there, so let's go back to the website. You can click on Services. And then you can click on IV hydration, Ivy Infusions in Atlanta, Georgia. And then this is just showing the IV infusions that I offer within my med spa. I did change some of the names as well to reflect like aura and just different names in general. Like I changed the Be Energized to just Energize. And then the price list of them. And then there's like a little gallery area where you can see some of the pictures that I've posted. Probably see them on my Instagram too. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, then definitely do so. I will link that right down below for you guys too. But yeah, this is the website so far. They're actually going to make the website live in the next couple of days, so definitely stay tuned for that. Alright, so if this video was helpful to you, I really hope that it was. If it was, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, and it just helps me understand that this video or these types of videos are videos that you guys are interested in, so I know to make more of them. So make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone!